So tonight we are going to do something special where apparently Tamara's gonna zip her mouth and not jump in at all. And it was to give her a break because I know that in many of our co-sessions, she is my co-pilot and has always been very instrumental in driving the calls. And tonight we are going to have uh, Tashiko facilitate in her place. And so it will be a new and interesting, variation to the way we do things because each and every person is unique and not no two people are the same. And it's going to be, I think, a very cool experience to have Tashiko in the co-pilot driver seat in this case. Um, so
How
yeah, I really
exciting.
with that.
I said, so how exciting.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And Tashiko, did you just want to say anything for yourself or just felt like did I just put you on the spot?
In English, not light language.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited and I'm trying to tell myself that everything that I'm feeling is excitement as opposed to just like, I'm nervous. But I trust spirit and I know that as soon as I'm jumping in, it's just going to flow. So I'm trying to shut my human up and
Yeah.
get in line with the spiritness, and it's going to be amazing. And it'll be what it is. It's an experiment for me too. So yeah, how
Tashiko,
exciting!
I would just like to say that everything that you've ever expressed during any of the sessions have always been spot on, and everybody already knows it, and everybody here already knows you.
Yeah.
So there's it's not anything new. We got a couple newbies, but I'm sure they just are going to appreciate anything you have to share. And you already
Yeah.
know us. We're all the same people.
Yeah, I know. It's still just nerve-wracking because it's like public speaking, even though I'm gonna have my
Oh,
blindfold
good.
on and
Well,
my camera off and everything else. But yeah,
I think
yeah,
that the
yeah.
thing is
Awesome.
that
Just
we're all going to immerse into or sink into, the co-session. So generally, that's why I always say to people, if you want to go off camera, if you feel more comfortable laying down, whatever it is to make you feel comfortable, so that there's nothing else sort of creating any kind of distraction, whether visually or just, body position, whatever that is, make yourself comfortable so that you can just like let go and forget everything in the physical when we do this. And I
and you
guess
likely will anyway, as the frequency rises, you'll forget you have a body anymore anyway. So it's all good.
yeah, no, so just a few just mentions as I've mentioned in previous co-sessions and I will mention it again today, we are link aggregating our energy fields, and in technology, link aggregation is a terminology that is used for bonding different size circuits to create a bigger one. And this is a very common terminology, but that's basically what we're doing with our energy fields. And the more we can parallel our energy to data packets moving, or traversing, an actual 3D technological network, the easier your energy is actually going to flow. If you can think of yourself as a data packet that adjusts to expand or to be flexible to move with the energy as it flows in session. Secondary to that, I know proactively, Suda, having never really attended before, had messaged me and asked about this diagram that I had created specifically just to give people a visual. If you guys can look at that real fast. I did this simply because I believe that we are aware of sacred geometry, but we don't necessarily use it to our um, to our benefit. And so what I mean by that is if you realize that when you move in energy fields and especially expanded energy fields, especially when you're linking different energy fields, sometimes the energy of that can be very overwhelming on the body because you're just not accustomed to it. It's like all of a sudden you've been maybe meditating and working on your own, but all of a sudden we're linking all these fields together. You're talking about 10 or 11 people, your body all of a sudden goes, whoa, how do I how do I auto size for all that? So I always remind people one of the most common ways to mitigate that is to think of sacred geometry around your field. The most simple is the octahedron, which is like the counter opposing tetrahedrons or pyramids. seeing that activate around you and really expanding that out mentally as you can, so that when the energy's shifting, moving, active, your energy body has this geometry to help you process and maintain that flow without it overwhelming you physically. And then, I show two different variations, which is retaining the octahedron, or if you want to intersect the two counter-opposing pyramids, whatever feels natural to you, that becomes a very well-known sacred geometry, which is the Merkaba, which is what we normally see. But there's no rules to this. This is whatever you feel comfortable with in your energy body. Either you're going to feel automatically you want to stay one way or move to another, or you can even play with it during the session and move between the two, because you can move those fields. And so just getting used to that aspect will help you in so many ways, because again, it's a way to regulate and maintain the energy so that it doesn't overwhelm you. That's basically what you're looking at there.
Beautiful. Yeah,
so,
I've done that and it's helped quite a bit.
Yeah, no, so if you can get used to that, it's gonna help a lot. And then let's see, another mentionable I'm thinking of is whenever people are feeling or sensing or seeing anything, don't be afraid to share it. We are all different perspectives of the truth. There is no one source of truth. So as we speak and describe, it helps us give different perspectives, but at the same time, more often than not, everybody has a shared perspective of, hey, 3 or 4 people are seeing the same thing, which is kind of neat, kind of crazy, because it's like, hey, we're all kind of, astral traveling awake, for lack of a better word. So it's a very cool shared experience when we can see, sense energies, or give different perspectives to that. So it's always a really great and unique thing that we're able to do together. But many of you have gone on these, and I know Chloe, may I ask, what is your last name?
I go by like Chloe Morgan.
What is Morgan?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Just wanted to get your name right. And so
yeah, absolutely.
If you guys does anyone have any questions, any comments, ready to jump in? Ready to jump in?
It's okay to move around.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's no,
Okay.
again, it's whatever you feel comfortable. I mean, a lot of people, they'll just go off camera because maybe they'll start to feel like doing light language with their hands. I mean, it's just, that way there's no, no part of it where you become, self-conscious, I guess you could say. It's just to allow yourself to, to move, or whatever you feel. We've had some co-sessions where people said, my hands started doing mudras, or I started just speaking light language. So just depends, whatever you want to do, whatever you want to share. It's for the group. It's a safe place for us to do this, because we're asking you to, contribute your frequency and your energy, and it's truly a co-creation between all of us. It's everybody's energy and everybody's field is here to contribute to the group.
And so just a little mention of light language. Anyone can talk light language at any time. You just don't have to talk it at huge volume if you want to just have it sort of, whispering in the background, but you can be letting it out so that you're not feeling like you have to stunt it, or that you're not blah in the middle of someone else speaking something. But if you want to, you can just be good, like just underneath. So it's just gentle,
running.
Just holding everything together.
Yeah, so a good point, Tashiko, no holding back. I mean, because it can be hard. Like I remember there was one co-session where someone felt like they were trying to understand what was happening and they were holding it. It's kind of like, just let it go, because that's the whole point of this, is it's bringing us into a certain type of flow, because as a result of us connecting like this. So I think it's a safe place for us to be able to express all of these energies. And so I'll keep this diagram up in the sense that if you want to just look at it, as sort of a mental reminder, because even though you are told, hey, use sacred geometry around you, it's another thing to see it. Sometimes that helps us just to look at it and then like bring it into the mind's eye when we close our eyes, and then we can feel that the ray tracing of that help us in that case. So, but if you guys are ready to jump in, I'll take us in.
So a quick question, are we just going to see what pops up tonight? Like, we do so often, or do we have a specific intention?
I didn't really ask, so maybe if someone's feeling something really strongly, I'd say, yeah, I am just going in as just general trusting, but if anybody has any specific.
General trusting sounds awesome.
Yep.
Yeah,
I asked and nothing came forward, so
let's see.
So I'm about to take you on a magical mystery tour.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we're just rolling the quantum or the astral dice and letting it fall where it may. It sounds like so.
these are my
get ready,
favorite kinds
start
of
shaking,
adventures.
and then go boom. Okay. So but I believe whatever comes forward will be for the benefit and the highest good of all and present. So that's generally how we do these things. So if you want to go off camera, I always do, just because it helps me as well to not look at, even though I love all your faces, I don't want the distraction of everyone's face. So if we can get into a quiet space within ourselves by just starting to pull our energy from all sides into the center of our being. We're going to take a deep intentional breath in through the nose, and then let that out as comfortably and as naturally as you feel in this moment. By getting a sense of our breath, we're going to start to take our attention to the front, back, left, right, and sides of us. Feeling those points of presence or awareness. As we start to get an awareness of our energy field around us, this activates our foundational frequency, the frequency we hold and bring forth to the session. As we feel this flow of that energy, build the energy field around us, we start to take our attention above about 5 or 6 feet. And in that process, we begin to sense, feel, imagine, or visualize the light of source. As we start to sense that, the light will feel like dispersed particles that will start to pool and group as we bring more focus onto it to become random spotlights moving about the sky. And in that random movement, they ultimately converge into one. And with that focus and through the power of source, we start to travel down through the sun, soul star, crown, third eye, throat, heart, solar, sacral, root, legs, feet, down through the earth star, down into the central and crystalline core of the planet, anchoring, centering here with Mother Gaia, Mother Earth, so that we may set the intention to clear and transmute all low-level frequencies, negative energies across all time, dimension, space, and realities as we fully and completely release any density into the planet, letting that go, so that we may alight back up through the earth star, feet, legs, root, sacral, solar, heart, throat, third eye, crown, all the way up into the central sun, pushing past into the unity consciousness field, pushing even farther into our pinpoint connection to source, connecting, knowing and recognizing that we've created a chakra circuit pathway that allows our energy field, our consciousness to move freely. With that established, we're going to move back down through the sun, soul star, crown, third eye, throat, to home and center into our heart space. We all expand our hearts into the universe, allowing our column and pillar of light to expand along with it, connecting to the galactic center so that we may sense the void, feel the void, expand into the void so we all become the void. Here there are no boundaries that exist. We are all one. From this point, I call upon the cosmic table of light, and I request source light records for each and every person in session. Tashiko Temple, Chloe Morgan, Ellen Warren, Carla Brown, Christina Leone, Mary Moore, Melanie Shewaker, Shelby McGee, Sudha Srinivasan, Tamara Pasick, and anyone else that might be listening to this recording at a later date. Requesting source light records for all those present to the center in the palm of my hand. And as I start to receive each and every one of you, I turn my palm over from the cosmic table of light and I expand the records high and wide until they become the light of the sky and beyond. As I move to open the records, we set the intention that all healings, clearings, support, guidance, assistance, information streams, downloads, frequencies, vibrations of the highest order and magnitude come forth for myself and everyone in session, allowing that to expand. As we honor and acknowledge and request the presence of the ascended masters, teachers, loved ones, star families, galactic beings, archangels, ancestors, record keepers, guides, beings of light. We hail dragons. A lot of energy just moved there. As we open the doorway to the Akashic field, all records are now open. Field access is now granted. All frequencies are active across all spectrums. All records are online.
So I think that was probably the most powerful opening I have experienced ever. I
Wow.
have been flashing through colors. I have been standing in a gateway of, it's almost like a pyramid. And it's like they're all moving over the top of us as though it is an archway, but a pyramid archway. Does that make sense? Everybody's looking up to a point. So everybody, we're standing gathered as a group. And as you called in the Ascendant Masters and the beings of light, I have a little being of light standing in front of me with their hands in my hands. And there are so many gathered here. So we can go in any direction we want from here. Ooh, huckety
Wow.
bee, huckety dick 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 doo. So this gorgeous little being in front of me, I have been receiving quite a few children sorts of glowing beings, or they're just very small, but they do feel a certain level of innocence. And this little one has very big dark eyes, and they are just luminous as a almost like small humanoid, but like a grey, standing in front of me. Okay, they've got me by the hand and they want us to go play. Let's go. All right, tribe, let's roll. All
From the
right,
mo
so
from the
Okay,
if
moment
anyone,
that
go
no,
ahead, Shelly.
I was just gonna say I had to mute myself while you were taking us up because some being, and it was a small being, came to me and wanted to speak through me. And so all this light language is coming out, but you were still reading all of our names. So I was like, okay, but it felt like it was supposed to be a part of you taking us up.
Oh, okay.
And so I was doing it like kind of energetically while you were taking us up. And then now you're Tashiko saying about that little being. I think that's who it was that came through.
I'm getting a nod from my little being, so yeah.
Yeah.
I feel
Beautiful.
like I feel like Shelby, you're on the other hand. We're holding hands with this little
Mm-hmm.
being and we're just going to start walking forward. So this space that we're in feels just like space. I'm seeing lots of darkness, lots of stars, but there is almost like rainbow rainbow road in front of us to be able to walk forward, and there is such a gathering of people around us. So we can call others forward as well. But this little being wants to take us and is gesturing us forward. So I'm just going to move forward with them. So we're all just moving down this pathway. And it's kind of undulating. It's almost like a hilly kind of movement as we're sort of trajectorying into space. The pyramid shapes are happening over the top of us. So it's like walking through a pointed gateway. And there are many colors of points. So it's like a rainbow spectrum opening. But there is quite a lot of darkness to the environment so that these colors appear very neon.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay. Right when the records opened, I saw them open and kind of turn into a city of light up above us, but it's just the outline of the structures and they're neon green.
Woo! Emerald City.
Yeah, seriously.
And I often see a lot in wireframe like that, like I call it wireframe or geo shapes and whatnot. It's almost like things aren't always filled in this space, but we definitely feel the structures of them.
Yeah. Have you ever seen the movie Soul, Disney Soul, where they go into the
No.
other end? That's exactly how I see it. Like it's a lot how
I'll
you're
have to see it.
describing it.
Awesome. That sounds amazing. So we are coming forward to a very luminous ball of light. As I've just arrived here, there is multiple colors coming. It's predominantly white, but there are multiple colors kind of fuming out of it. And it feels very, there's yellow tones, there's peach tones, there's pinks, there's even sort of purples. It's very warm tones. It's almost like its own little sun. And I would say it's about the size of a small room. So it's quite large, and we're all coming up to meet under this, or sort of in front of this big gaseous, moving, flickering ball of light. And so just making sure that all of us are together. Something that is interesting for me, just to try to process this information of many people with me. There's lots of code coming through the top of this ball as well. And as it hits the ball, it kind of, like it would hit the top of a basketball and then just drape down the sides. So some of it's moving through the center and some of it is also moving over the edges of this ball shape. And I'm seeing codes or beams of light coming to each of our hearts. It's extending out from the very center of the sun shape here, and everybody is standing now in a circle around this orb. There is a very lightness and a vaporiness to this experience, but there is also a feeling of if there's anything that you would like to see transformed, here is your chance to set it on fire. Here is the burning point. Here is the, if you've got a wish, make your wish. Here it is. I'll just give everybody a moment here to just speak to the ball. I am receiving massive amounts of gold code into my throat as well, and my hands are shuddering right in front of it. Ooh.
Yes.
So around the outside of us, I feel concentric ripples of this beautiful electric blue that's happening. So that's very opposite color to what's going on in the center here. And then I'm being shown that we are about to go on a wormhole ride. So it's going to, I'm not sure quite where it's going to go, but it's like the floor is opening up like a black hole and the stars are moving into it and we are standing above it. And we're going to go down this like slide in a minute. If you're all ready,
Let's do
there
it.
we're on.
Lots
Lots of colors. It's like going down a rainbow water slide. So I'm coming open to or slowing down into a space that is very light and white and clouded. And I am feeling that there are structures coming to my vision in this space. There are stairs in front of me. There's like about 5 stairs coming up. Yeah, oh no, so this feels very crystalline, very light, very pale blue, ultraviolet purpley, but it's very pastely and crystalline. So I'm seeing
the energy change from
yeah,
where for sure.
and I'm seeing that there are it's almost like there's pillars of crystal beside us, just in this sort of opening gateway here. And there are codes written in these pillars, so they are glowing as well, very soft blue glow. So there are beings inside this space. There are 3 of them that I can see in front of us, somewhat in the mist a little bit more. So I'm just going to move forward to come into connection with them. So I believe these are 3 Syrian beings because I just asked, are you Syrian? Being that they're very white, they're very tall. They have long sort of white soft robes on.
Did it look like the people who we saw the other night or something different?
They all appear slightly different. These folk have a little bit of coloring to their skin, so they're almost like this environment. It's very soft, pale blues and whites. So they've got a bit of a bluish tone to them.
Okay.
So that their white clothes look a little contrasty against their skin. Okay, so we are receiving beautiful blessings, codes through our crowns. It's as though they are standing and blessing, praying, putting their hands on the top of our crown and whispering their codes into our field.
I feel like I'm seeing it from their perspective.
I could switch between I could switch between the 2. Yes. Yes, it's like I could see my hands doing it to crowns, and I can see I felt it first on my crown, but it's almost like as though we give it to each other as well, as though we become them and we can gift it.
Yeah.
My hands and feet are glowing, and I feel like I'm turning into a cat.
Woo! There is a very large but somewhat shallow dish of water. It's like a very bird bath, but it's quite large. And it feels as though this is almost a portal or some kind of scrying space. Again, everything feels very crystalline. So there is a lot of vibration coming from the bowl itself, let alone the ripple of the water that is dancing across the surface. And they're asking us to drink. So you cup your hands and you take some of this crystalline water and you drink it in and you splash it over your face and imbue yourself with the most beautiful crystalline energy. Ooh.
My body is lighting up like crazy.
Yeah.
Ooh, how
And does
lovely.
everybody feel that shift in drinking that it's dropped me like 10 pegs. I'm like, wow, that feels beautiful. I
Like
feel,
velvety.
yeah, heavier and lighter at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's nice. Okay, so there's also very interesting. There's a golden light somewhere sort of slightly in the background coming into focus. Okay, so as I am seeing this light, we are parting ways now with these Syrian beings, and we are moving towards this golden light. And around us, I see there are long lines of geometry, and inside these geometry lines are many, many hieroglyph carvings. So when I say hieroglyph, I'm just going to call that code or hieroglyph, symbols of significance. And it's like we're moving into a different type of temple structure, very wireframe again. And it feels somewhat, let me just see if I can count sides. 8, 6, 8. No. But inside here, so I can feel this beautiful structure building over the top of us. And inside there is this incredible gold mist moving. And as it sort of trails around, it's filtering into the golden structure of our own being. So as we were speaking of before, of your own sacred geometry vehicle, it's feeding into the vehicle of your own. So it's almost like we are coming to reflect this temple space in our own miniature temples. So just allow for that beautiful gold to come in.
Yes, yes.
I can see a new being coming into focus now, standing here. Forgive me as my eyes take a little bit to adjust. It's like looking through layers of mist and things become visible, and then I have to move closer to them to become, like, to see clearly. Like my eyes are not 20/20. This being is wearing a very pink, almost magenta-y pink kind of cloak outfit, tunic almost, I would dare say. It's not really a cloak.
Yeah, Tashiko, he's been with us from the start. And he stood back
Beautiful.
when we went into this gold light. He stood back. So I think maybe he was waiting for us to do that. But I don't know. He almost looks, does he kind of, not like a monk, but almost like a man of the church or something from maybe back in the 1500s or 1400s, something like that.
Yes. And I was almost going to say he kind of was giving me a Dr. Spock vibe as well. Like he's got a very kind of tight throat, like buttoned up a little bit. He's a little bit, bless you, honey. We're not having a go at you. We're here loving your style. But let's just see what he has to share with us. Tamara, if you've got a good connection with him, by all means, go ahead.
I feel like he's just been our he was right there at the reception, and at the beginning when we were all feeling all that energy so fast, I saw all of us as like asteroids, like just literally cannonballs shooting out in space to the place that the black space. I'm like, whoa, we're going somewhere fast, and he was there for it. So yeah, I don't know who he is, but he's is anybody picking up anything?
It seemed like he
Take
was watching
silence.
over us. Yeah, like he's just observing.
He's come to hand me a ball, a sphere. It's almost, and as you just said, like meteorites, Tamara, it's almost like it's a pock-like rock. And so I'm just perceiving what else is going on in this shape. What is this about? He has such a gentle and calm and very quiet medicine to him. He is very, very gentle. And this rock is beginning to split through the center and open up with the most blinding white light.
Is there some connection with our spine here? I don't know. I just saw him like squeezing our spines.
Well, Vera and I have been getting our spines worked on this week, so maybe it's time for you guys to get it too.
Mine's been feeling all tingled and activated.
Mine like twitched when you said that.
And so as this, we'll call it a coconut for want of a better term, as the coconut split and the pure white light came flooding out, there is also this gold figure inside. And I almost want to say it looks like Venus de Milo with the long hair and the sultry sass. So what is Venus de Milo doing here? But it's almost like it's morphing. So it's kind of like there's this somewhat gelatinous gold blob that can morph into different shapes. And one of those was Venus de Milo. But it's, okay, it's moving through so many different structures. I'm now getting like Shiva with the, or a Kali of many arms. And it's like it's moving into the faces of every religion.
It's like
the
the
face
liquid.
paint.
It's like the liquid that moves through all the little, like if you think of the vertebra, like my brain isn't working.
Oh, the spinal
Like
fluid?
cerebral fluid.
Or yeah, like it can move through all the nooks and crannies, all the crevices.
Oh, okay. I just got punched in the back, so that's cool. Like a big pulse forward in my chest. So I do feel that there is definitely spinal stuff going on with this. The whole action pushed me forward from the heart forward. So it's like very much that upper, from the top of the back of your skull to definitely through the middle back. A little bit less intensive down the bottom of the spine, but definitely that back of the heart.
See, and for me, it's
And
more towards the lower spine feels like pulsating almost. I got the
yeah,
image of
cool.
like Kundalini rising, kind of.
Beautiful. So maybe it's hitting everybody in a different spot. For me, it was very much back of the heart.
So
And it's still lurching.
Yes, sorry. I have actually been working on people's spines here. Melanie, the minute you said it, so I was working on yours, and yours was upper back. Shelby, yours was at the base, but I'm just going to carry on and I'll send you guys notes, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
I feel it in the back of my neck. It's been really pushing it a lot.
I'm seeing crystalline plates being placed, almost like they're being slotted in between the vertebrae as well. So it's like they're almost, think about it like a sliver of ice or something. And so as it comes in, it's going to liquefy or melt and become part of your structure as well. They don't stay as flat plates. They come in and they are absorbed into the core of the whole
spine.
They're merging into the energy of the whole thing. So it's not like it's not specifically bone. It's just giving us this as the skeleton for where to see this transformation happening, but it's not specifically connecting to bone. It's just like it liquefies and then becomes a force field around the entire thing.
I had a strong sense that everyone should drink some water.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
I need to find one.
Beautiful.
Like imbuing us with the higher frequencies.
And so as you feel those crystalline pieces melding in with your own structure, you may even feel little pops and clicks or little slides, almost as though as you feel it slide across, you might almost want to kind of slide your ribs to the side, feeling them kind of creating a different space. I'm also seeing flashes of a very like a bright apple green through this beautiful soft whiteness. And so then I was just seeing again the apple green kind of lines coming from the very top crown of the skull and then flowing over the skull and weaving between the vertebrae of the spine. So it's again this beautiful interlocking, weaving, connecting, and passing information, because these little zippy lines, they have that kind of flash to them like jellyfish tendrils that where they pulse with light. So there's a really beautiful pulsing and integrating happening. I get the sense also that there are other beings with us to support us. I just got this feeling of leaning backwards and being held by others. There are beings here to help assist this and allow you to relax as you receive it. So just please be gentle and soft in your body.
There's some kind of like octopusy type, like being like an octopus or like a, oh, I can't, it's got like long, almost like tentacly arms, and it has a big round head with like wide eyes, and then it like is like touching over us with like how you said, like the jellyfish, like almost like a tentacle, like, and is like sweeping its tentacles over us while this is happening. And it's like almost like every time it touches, like that energy like goes through its tentacles and like kind of like is additionally imbuing like healing energy.
Beautiful.
Oh, and it's so like delicate, and it's just like running its hands over each of our heads. And like as it touches each of us, there's like this energy and this like beautiful pulsating light that's coming from each of each of our like as it touches.
So I also saw us being gifted with a very light, beautiful sapphire-like crystal in the third eye. And as I held my hands sort of down at my heart chakra, the most beautiful, soft, almost magenta-y pink color being formed here in the channels through the heart space. And it is, as soon as that stone was placed in, the heart began to glow pink. Oof. And so now I feel that there is this beautiful trails of gold. It's almost like dusty. If a sparkler was caught in slow motion, there's these crackles and sparkles as these spirals of golden energy just begin to travel around to settle everything into the spine, to settle it in our own geometries, feeling all of the light passing very beautifully and gently. And then I feel that we're going to travel on from here shortly. Okay. Okay, so wow. Our crystalline bodies. So if you imagine your geometry that we first talked about when we opened the call, now lifts up. And then we imagine as though you are laying out flat on the ground with your face down. We become the petals of a flower, each one of us connecting in to this central circle. So it's almost like our geometries become a blade, like a circular saw almost inside what is creating a very milky, beautiful and swirling orb over the top and the bottom of these geometries. And there is a very fine white filament being woven from each of our geometries to the next geometry to the next. It's weaving its way around the flower of all of us connected. All of our pink heart lights are on, and that pink heart light feeds up through the geometry into the center, where the center of the flower would be.
You can feel the wisps of energy, and it feels like what almost like a water lotus as far as it extending up. It's weird.
Yes, so beautiful. And then, as you said, water lotus, like yeah, totally seeing the flower. But then I also saw this waterfall. There's code just pouring down into the center amongst us and over us. It feeds into each of our geometries. It feeds into the center core of the whole flower shape. And as I am coming back to the awareness of myself inside my shape, I could feel my skin crystallizing, almost as though when you see the image of a snowflake, a soap bubble becoming frozen, and you see those tiny little flakes of ice begin to form. It's almost as though we are being covered with this very fine crystalline film all over my face, all down my throat, across my chest, rolling down my arms, crystalline fingertips, all the way down through my body. And then almost as though a flower relaxing again as the petals begin to fall, we are coming back down to stand in the same area we were just before we lifted up into the lotusy flower.
That was like a strange, beautiful dance.
So beautiful. And there is so much lightness and joy. Like there's this beautiful joy feeling of looking around and seeing you all examining your crystalline faces.
It's been a very calm feeling for me.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're being called forward again by the gentleman in the magenta-y kind of color. And as we are moving, I'm seeing very much like we're moving into kind of a crystalline, almost like an ice cave. Panes, fractal, different sorts of geometry shapes, crystalline shapes, very pale, light blue, touch of purple, very, very shimmery, very, very glass-like, very shiny. Okay, so as we come in, there is a council here at a round table. And we are each being seated with someone at the table. So it's as though we are sitting each between one. These people, multiple genders, feel very wizard-like. They feel like they're wearing wizard cloaks, and there is a very, very Dumbledore feeling.
Yeah, like guides.
Yes. I feel that this is also a meeting point within a larger library. I get the feeling of archways and many, many books, many scrolls, many bits and pieces that you can go off and find. So if there is something here that you need to ask for guidance, for some piece of information, now is the time. Your guide will help you find it. And the scrolls, the books will be brought to you at the table for you to read.
If you feel comfortable, you can place your hand over it. You're going to receive it, whatever that message is.
Yeah, as you have a book placed in your hands or a book placed on the table, take a look at those pages, put your hands over the pages so that you absorb in that information. Sit and speak to the guide if you feel that there is something that you need to ask them specifically. And I'm receiving a very interesting DNA-like upgrade. I'm feeling these two lines, much like the DNA spiral, the two intersecting spirals together, weaving through. Ooh. And extending out of my crown like a spiral staircase.
And if you even want to turn to your guide, place your hands up and allow them to place their hands up across from you. You can direct connect.
And just to trust, even if you're not seeing them or hearing them, but feel, because you may be feeling more than the seeing or hearing. If your strongest suit is not the visual or the hearing, then just trust that what you're sending them, they're receiving, and that you're going to be getting the answers. You may not receive it in a vocal answer, but they will send it to you through the other ways of connection that you have. So if it's something throughout the day reminds you, you may get it tomorrow, you may get it the next day, but trust that the answers are coming. So even if you cannot hear them clearly at this moment, it is going to come through.
And you are in a space of an incredible frequency upgrade. There is lots of information, lots of knowledge, lots of wisdom here, and we learn through so many senses. So exactly, Shelby, things will come to you and they will awaken in their own time.
And one of your guides wanted me to say that, so I don't know who it is, but that's what it is.
Yeah.
No,
I
that
don't
makes
know who
sense.
needed to hear that, but that's what was from coming for someone else. So
It takes time
trust
for
it.
energies in the quantum to catch up with the 3D. That there's a propagation delay, we'll call it, but you're receiving it.
Beautiful.
I think we all need to hear that, Shelby.
Okay. Yeah,
My
that
hands
was
are
intense.
yeah, my hands, I got it all through my hands. It's crazy.
Mhm.
I am receiving some incredible crystalline geometries over the top of me that zigzag, that inside, outside, up, down, and I am a very large crystal point right now.
Beautiful.
Tamara, did
I
you have
think
your hand
this,
up for a reason?
Oh, that was probably me. Sorry.
Sorry, Shelby.
oh no, that's all right. I was just saying that, oh, I don't know, it's gone. It's okay.
So coming back to, so wherever you have been moving in this space, my attention is just brought back to the table, and it's almost as though we are looking at a very magical tabletop that shows quite a lot of galaxy systems. So I'm seeing concentric rings as well as like quite cloudy nebulary pieces, as well as star systems in different sections. I feel that the table itself is a giant map with different lights coming in different places and different stars moving in different places. Parts of the table light up, and I'm getting massive shifts in my ears right now. Parts of the table light up in front of the guides. It's almost like they are the controllers of that part of the map. They feed in their connection to that part of the map. And these guides, as I look around now, they are very different beings.
I felt like the guides were talking to each other.
One of them's not happy. He's like, you should be here. Get out of here.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it's not mean, but they're like annoyed is what I'm
Yeah,
feeling.
like, what are you doing here?
Yeah. Like,
I got that
I
too.
was just here for
Like, did we
upgrades,
like
man.
crash the party
We're
or
just
something?
like they were having a meeting almost. And like we
And
were
we're
just
like, hey,
observing
can I come
it.
and sit on your lap?
Yeah.
They're like, what are you doing here? Well, mine was pleased to see me, at least. That's nice.
I got, yeah,
All right.
mine
Well,
was
we
receptive.
deeply apologize for crashing your meeting, and we will leave you to your star system, interplanetary, galactic federation, whatever you're doing here. We bow
Yeah.
and we leave.
Yeah, it felt very like they were like a little amused by it, but they were just like, oh my goodness, like, what are you doing here?
I am still receiving geometries over the top of my crown, and they are very changing directions as they zigzag through me. Very interesting. Okay, folks, let's roll. Thank you for our guide who brought us to this meeting. Let us go back to the crystalline pathway that we walked in through. So if we all turn to see where that light, that beautiful soft cloud-like light is coming from.
My goodness.
And we begin to move back out into that openness. Once again, surrounded by almost like soft mist cloud.
The energy shifts in these transitions are crazy. It's
Wow.
That one is palpable. I mean,
yeah,
it's a
that
big,
one was
Yeah.
like walking from a cold room to a hot or vice versa.
yeah, it was yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, and it's like the sun just turned on. It was very dark
Uh-huh.
inside there, of just like a dark library, and you're not allowed to talk. And out here, it's like ah.
Mhm.
No wonder we got yelled at.
Yeah.
We got shown
When
that
they're just crashing.
they're having their own co-session, basically.
Yeah. That was
They're like,
so
we booked
interesting.
this room. Get out of our conference
Yeah,
room.
exactly.
So out here again in the beautiful crystalline space, once again feeling these pillars around us, and it's almost like a shift between a pillar of crystal, but it's so vibrational that it becomes light. They appear like pillars of light. And
Wow.
again, it's almost like so glowy luminous that they're hard to look at. They're so bright, but they're just got shifts of colors. Oh, yes.
Tashiko, can you make out how many there are?
Of the pillars. Sorry, I was just
Yeah.
talking to the guide. I'll turn back around in just a second. The guide was just telling me that he's kind of a bit sheepish. She's like, I'm sorry that I took you into the meeting and you weren't supposed to be there. But he goes, but there were things in there that you needed, but it, we had to keep it snappy. So yeah, it was okay to go. Like, okay, thank you. But we're just saying thank you and saying goodbye to this guy. So thank you very much for being with us. All right. So if I turn to the pillars, I'm getting a very strong bright blue one on my left hand side. I can see a pinkish purplish toned one on my right hand side. I can see that there is a yellowy orangey version. It's a bit further away. They're not exactly in a straight geometry.
Mm-hmm.
There's another green one kind of nearer to the yellow one as well.
Wow.
And then there's just a lot of cloud in the way. I can't see anything in between these couple over here. So I'm just going to see if I can feel through.
I'm seeing the same thing.
Beautiful.
I've got 4 in kind of a semicircle or an arc, and then 2 that are removed behind them. So it's pretty much the same thing.
It seems pretty representative of energies, the pillars.
Yeah.
And yeah, when you take on the colors, you can read into those as you feel what each pillar is representing. So have a look at them. Look at if you can see, if you can feel the scriptures, if you can feel a particular sensation as you move up to them. If you feel them, does it feel warm? Does it feel cool? Does it feel tingly? Is it bubbly? Does the other one feel more electric than this one? This is a sensory playground.
Is that on?
My attention just keeps coming back to my spine again. I'm wondering if there's another connection with our spine here, or if it's like that's how we can communicate with them. I don't know, one spine to another.
I think we're all receiving something in our spine here. Everybody's was expanded in some way.
Yeah.
And I got the feeling that you can go and lean up against the pillar also. So there is a direct, like as you were saying, spine to spine. If you go and lean yourself against the pillar color of your choice, then you can merge with that, receive that information. Maybe we're supposed to go and lean against every one of them. But pick a color, any color.
I just saw like it's like there's also communication. Like if I'm standing in front of the pillar, my spine is like a micro or smaller version of that pillar.
Mm-hmm.
We can communicate with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
And I feel that's where those kind of like ice-like crystal-like plates, when they came in, that gives the frequency so that you can now better connect. So we've all been given the liquid crystal inside the spine to go connect with the crystal pillars.
Beautiful.
I also feel that there is an amazing geometry that's spinning above us. I can't quite see it, but I'm perceiving that it's there and moving. So it's almost like it's higher than the cloud, but it's not specifically visible.
I get the sense that we're all jointly creating that geometry.
Mm.
Yes.
I think the geometry is still a dodecahedron. Everyone.
I think so. I think so.
Yes, it is. I agree.
There's 11 of us here, so it's 11 plus this. The missing point is whoever listens to the recording. That's the 12th point.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So
Yeah,
as I'm standing, sorry, go.
No, I was just gonna say I could see it like circling above us.
Yeah, I feel like it's spinning. It's and constantly moving, just shifting, moving, rolling.
Yeah, spinning, exactly.
So as I was standing next to this blue pillar, I placed my hands to connect with it, and it's as though the same color just traveled down over my arms and hands. And then it's like I'm able to duplicate it. So as I take that color through my limbs, I can then form another crystal pillar in front of me. And then I tried that a few times. I went and put my hands back on the big one and absorbed some of the crystal light, and then formed another pillar in front of me. I'm like, oh, look at this, I'm making pillars. So I can then take those pillars that I created and I moved them into my body as well. So there was this beautiful alignment and shifting and flutter of light moving upwards. So if you are standing next to one and you want to work with that process, feel your hands melding into the light of the crystal and being able to take a sliver of that energy and begin to shift it into to whatever shape you want to, or to even just simply take handfuls of it, almost like it is water, and pour it into your being. And feel where the pathways of that goes, whether it kind of trickles down, whether it weaves through like a thin thread, whether it moves through like a wave of energy. I'm going to go and try a different colored crystal pillar now.
It's interesting how each one it has a different way of absorbing in, though. Like I noticed the one felt like it was just like sinking in, almost like water, like when you're watering the ground. But then this one felt very much more like it was like moving through my veins.
Perfect. Yeah. I have just come to the other crystal pillar, and there is this feeling of the energy moving very much in my eyes and around the ocular bones, the skull, the upper part of my face and head, more than anywhere else in my body. It's just shifting through the eye sockets and the brain, and that was a very interesting feeling.
Wow.
I'll say
Okay. How does everybody feel about moving on from here now, from our crystal playground?
Good.
It's pretty awesome here.
Okay, so if we all begin to travel together. Oh, hello, buddy. I've got my little glowing friend just came to lead the way. And so we're traveling forward. It's almost like we're moving from this very soft, cloudy space and towards a sort of darkness, but the darkness is just space. It's just being able to see into the star field. And now there is a new water slide wormhole to move down into. I can see a lot of electric purple lines moving down into it. So when you're ready, 1, 2, 3, whee!
Take the plunge.
Wow, so much light. Ooh.
Another big energy shift there.
And I feel that as we've come into this new space, there is this sensation of we move so fast, your particles have to catch up with you. There was almost this molecules shifted out, and we are now having to kind of solidify back into ourselves.
That's exactly what I saw too.
Yeah.
Just all these little particles, they're trying to catch up to us.
Yeah, I got a trail.
It was interesting because the light language started coming out, and it was like a knowing that you're doing this to help to like keep all the energies together while we move. And so like the light language that was coming out was very like, okay, we're gonna catch all these particles and take them with us. Oh, interesting.
And so how is everybody feeling? Do you feel that your I'm going to call them like ping pong balls. I've got like all of these ping pong balls that are melting back into my being. Does everybody feel that they're melting back into themselves? They've got their all of their particles back together?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a funny question. Are you all back together again?
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
yes.
Everything like Charlie
but
in
my
the
brain
chocolate
cells.
factory.
Yeah.
So just
Getting
come
there.
back into your geometry as well, being mindful of your vehicle, and feel if there's any shifts, any movements. Is there any particles that are still floating around almost like on the skin level but need to go into the internals? Is there anything that else needs to shift in here for you? Just take that moment to really feel into your internals. Have some nice deep breaths here as well. Just really breathe your particles into yourself.
If there's such a thing as galactic Reiki, we all just got it.
Yeah. Way.
Well, if there wasn't, there is now. Yay.
So I am feeling almost like my hands are swimming in the air.
Mine are doing that.
Because it's not like light language where you can often be like fast and pokey. This is very just graceful and floaty. And there is this feeling of I'm drawing golden trails with the light. Like there is this very slowing down process happening right now. And that we are weaving these incredible gold light lines. And so play with those a little as you sit where you are. Just trace some beautiful gold lines over your face, over your throat, over your Arms, shoulders, arms, hands. Feel if there are any places that really pulse or change or feel any different as you move your hands over them. Are there any organs that are calling for more gold lines to be drawn? Is there anything in your body that is asking to be unlocked somewhat with more fluidity? Okay, so I am being told now that with our hands moving kind of more in a miniature way now, my hands have kind of come into a very close and my fingers are almost knitting together these gold fibers. And we are to leave a little star here that we are weaving. So this is a little offering to leave for this space and for our journey that we have just done through all of these dimensional shifts. So with your gold lines, you begin to weave whatever form it feels right for you, some fluid motion, some swirls, some binding with the gold thread that is weaving through your hands, and make a little treasure. And when you are ready, we are coming in together to place our little treasures together. And they are placed together much the same way that our lotus flower mandala was before, that we each come in beside each other and place our little golden treasures together. And they are sitting here in this beautiful little offering space where they glow, and the glow joins each other, so the glow gets brighter as all of the pieces come together. And there is an incredible beam of light coming down through the whole structure of it as well. Through the treasure, through into our own hearts. It's like Source just said thank you with this big beam of light. So just drink that in. Yeah, Vera?
We're being rewarded for the co-creation of our being present together.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, exactly. And we are leaving an offering in thanks because we are so grateful to be here.
It feels like the world's best yawn.
That's the way of putting it.
And we are being instructed to put your index finger into the gold that you just created, the gold structure, and then to also place that gold fingerprint on your third eye. Oh, and that did some crazy geometries out the back of my head. Woo!
That's just a little bit crazy. Let me tell you what, it's just like bubbling in waves. That is wild.
And there's so much joy here, like everybody just going, oh, and it's like I can see us all just laughing and looking at the next one and going, look at you, like, and look at
oh my God, this is so awesome.
So here it is, folks. You can tap into the golden fountain of joy anytime you want. We created it. We can come back to it. Source loves it. All the beings are gathering around the edges. They're having a little party with us as well. So grateful. So grateful.
Golden Fountain of Joy. Vera, that's the name of this co-session. I love it.
That's it. It's self-named itself for sure.
And so just take that, moment to feel all of the lines as they just begin to grow and expand and glow. So what appeared to me first as these very fine and tight filaments of gold just become these beautiful, expansive rays of gold rolling out from this very center space and just fountaining out over the top of us, into us, all over and around the entire space. Ah, so beautiful.
A champagne fountain of light. I was like,
yeah.
Just, oh my God. So beautiful.
And the little being that came in at first has just been thanking me for coming, and we're having a little hug. It's really sweet. And now I feel that we can, at any time we want to, we can come back to ourselves from this space. So, Vera, if you would like to call us back down through our layers,
yeah,
we can thank very much our beautiful gold fountain and all of our beautiful guides and helpers and crystal killers and incredible spinal upgrades. We are so grateful for this experience. Thank you, thank you. Gracias, gracias, gracias.
Thank you.
That was a lot. Many layers
Ooh.
there. That was interesting, and the first time I think we've been actually instructed to do things with our hands and etc. So it just was really cool.
That was wonderful. Oh my
Beautiful.
God.
Yeah, no,
and
great.
Playful.
Yeah, it was very interactive. It was very interactive.
Yes, it's a playground. Have fun.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good, and it all came together by just your being present and stepping forward into this and trusting the process. So as we start to wind down, I'm gonna request and ask that you start to gather your energy around your field and start redirecting that back into the center, to the center of your own consciousness. Because from this place, as I move to close the records, I'm going to ask for source light records back into the center in the palm of my hand for myself, Vera V Nexus, Tamara Pasick, Shelby McGee, Tashiko Temple, Mary Moore, Chloe Morgan, Ellen Warren, Carla Brown, Christina Leon, Melanie Showaker, Sudha Srinivasan. As those waves of energy start to come back, pull back, I'm going to turn my hand back over to Cosmic Table of Light, move to close the records, and request to exit field access from the Akasha. As we do this, we are giving gratitude for all the healings, clearing, support, guidance, assistance, information streams, downloads, frequencies, vibrations of the highest order and magnitude that have come forth for everyone in session. Giving great gratitude and honoring and acknowledging the presence of the Ascended Masters, teachers, loved ones, star families, galactic beings, archangels, guides, beings of light, dragons, handsome and present. As those energies continue to recede back through, we also set the intention that all cords, connections, bindings, contracts, portals, vortexes, energies, whether intentionally or unintentionally or consciously or unconsciously created, be fully and completely released. As we start to detach from the field, separate, so that we start to take our consciousness back down through the power of source, through the sun, soul star, crown, third eye, throat, heart, solar, sacral, root, legs, feet. Shooting down through the earth star, down into the central and crystalline core of the planet, anchoring, centering, cradled here in the heart of Gaia, Mother Earth's arms, grounding, initiating that grounding process so that we may light back up through the earth star, feet, legs, roots, sacral, solar, heart, throat, third eye, crown, all the way up into the central sun, pushing past into the unity consciousness field, pushing farther into our pinpoint connection to source, resetting that chakra circuit pathway so we can travel back down through the sun, soul star, crown, third eye, throat. Let's home and center into our heart spaces, expanding our hearts into the universe, placing palms up so that we can upload our gratitude and signature into the universal collective, sending that. And with that exchange complete, we can now journey back into Mother Earth's sacred space, setting the intention to process and integrate all that has been transmitted and all that has been received, allowing us to continue this flow state, knowing that we are one with the all and the all is one with us, allowing us to find our center point back into our home base so that we are anchored back into this 3D physicality, back into this earth plane. Aliashu, so it is and it is so. We are back. We are back. We are back. Imagine a beam of light above your head, splitting into the two sides of you, ray tracing a triangle. And right when it reaches foot level, it'll create the final seal so that we are back into Mother Earth's blueprint.
Oh, man.
Ooh.
Wow.
Wow. Well, that was a trip on the playground.
Yeah.
Tashiko, you kicked ass, man. You did good.
Yeah, Tashiko, that was amazing.
It was
Amazing, Tashiko.
I had no idea what was going to happen, and we all got to expand our particles and then reform your particles, and let's hope you've been put back together in whole new and amazing ways so that you can just keep glowing.
Yeah,
Wow.
that was fantastic.
That was really fun.
Yeah.
That
It was fun, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Except for the
That
getting
was
told off
absolutely
part.
amazing.
That was so
That-
funny.
Fun too.
That was hilarious.
Even that was really just like a slight, like, shoo type thing. Shoo out of here, not like a not like
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
I felt like
shoo
it
out.
was like kids who were just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Like, get out of here, kids.
Yeah.
Like,
And
we don't have time for this. Yeah.
And instead of sitting down at the
Actually,
table and being
it's
like polite, that we're like running around the library just doing things and touching stuff, and they're like, "What are you doing?"
Yep. Exactly.
So funny. Oh my God.
That was wild. And like I said, we never know what's going to come forward, but it's the combination of the people who step forward and the unique signature that creates and geometry that creates. So I'm just really thankful for everyone entrusting this process and spending their Friday night traipsing around and astral traveling together into new spaces, new places, and being led by guides and beings of light. So thank you all for being here, because each and every one of you are critical to this and are part and parcel of having this be the co-creation, the successful co-creation that it is. So
Everybody save the chat.
Thank you.
Yeah.
yeah, no, I've been copying and
Oh.
pasting the chat into notepads. So I'll share that when I post it into the when I post the video about, I'll have those
I
comments.
can't read. My eyes have been closed with an eye mask on, so I can't even read yet.
Well, we were just happy to see a pink eye mask. That made it worthwhile. So
Oh.
So I wanted to share something kind of
Of course.
interesting. So I honestly couldn't talk the whole time. It was almost as if I was in a trance. It was like
Oh.
I was silent almost that whole time.
Oh, I noticed that. You say something.
It was like I felt like I was asleep, but I was not asleep. It was very strange for me because I've never experienced anything like that before. And it was like I was on a total different level. Yeah. So I think maybe I was kind of out of body almost that whole time. And yeah, it was. I also feel like I just woke up from a very long nap. Like I feel extremely energized, and like supercharged right now. So, wow, that was
That's awesome.
amazing. Yeah. So,
Yay.
yeah, but I didn't want to. I wanted to kind of share that just because I felt like I didn't want y'all to think that I wasn't present because
Like
I
engaged.
was. I
Yeah.
just was not able to even speak. So,
But Mama's gonna knock you out.
yeah.
No, but
But
no,
Tashiko, that was absolutely amazing. That was such a beautiful experience.
It
Yeah, it's
was.
good fun.
I mean,
Good
that
fun.
was incredible. And Tashika, if you think that that's your last time, that was your first time of many, because that was incredible.
Yeah, no, that
Mm-hmm.
was absolutely amazing.
That was fun.
yeah.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I guess one moment or a couple of moments in there, I felt like I'd given you things to do and time for you to explore that space a little bit, like speak to the guy that you're talking to, or go and touch the crystal, or and there was sometimes a few moments of what felt like endless silence. I'm like, ooh, I guess I should say something else to fill the gap. But I also just wanted you to have moments to tune in and feel everything for yourself, and just keep checking in and be like, oh yeah, that's really feeling me in the shoulder, or it's really, bubbling through here, and just feel any different sensations. And those shifts into and out of spaces were very tactile and very,
It was
very
palpable.
amazing.
It was palpable.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
we moved.
exactly.
And like you said, I think giving the space for everyone to kind of, sink in and feel it, that was important, I think, because sometimes things are going so fast and you're like, okay, I'm hearing this is what's happening, but is it really happening? But for me, it's like when the energy shifts or I feel energy in my hands or parts of my body, it's like, wow, okay, that's really happening. So yeah, that I think that was really cool that you had those pauses. We'll call it, what they call pregnant pauses. You know, just to give it a little bit time to gestate and do its thing. So I think
Yeah,
that's cool.
just
Yeah.
feel in.
Have that
Yeah, beautiful.
breathability.
What's that?
Say again.
It's good to have that breathability, that spaciousness. It doesn't have to be action, action, action. It was really nice.
Mm-hmm.
I really felt that during the flower. We all became really quiet then, like really in it. And it was, yeah, luxurious.
The nice.
Yeah,
I
a
absolutely
comfortable
love that.
silence.
I really love the pillar thing. And it, for some reason, I was just attracted to one color pillar. I was trying to see others. I could just see one, just the green. And then I just leaned, and then it just became, it somehow it became part of me, all of me. And it took over me, kind of a feeling. And it's very unique and very different. And I could just feel it different. The energy just shifted completely.
That's
And
amazing.
it's beautiful,
Beautiful.
beautiful. And there's like so much, I felt so much love many, many times during this entire journey, many, many times, the happiness, joy, and love. So many beautiful, beautiful, completely open. Uh, it was just very beautiful. I don't have words.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I didn't get to the green pillar. I was like stuck at the blue one and a little bit at the orangey yellow one, but not much. So
I think
we'll
the
have to
pillars
join
were there
forces.
for whatever the person needed or felt.
I think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
I was surprisingly like feeling myself like dancing and shifting through them and like moving and like just not physically singing light language, but there I was singing it, which was very interesting.
Beautiful.
I love that.
It's really beautiful.
Oh my
And
God.
it helps you to feel how, like when I'm saying move your hands there, we don't have hands there. We aren't, we don't have
We're
physical
not
bodies there,
embodied.
but it's
Yeah.
yeah, but it helps us to understand that we can to pick things up or touch things or feel things, and we're so, tactile and sensory with how we feel with our hands. So even when we do that, and when I do healings and things as well, I'm always running my hands around thin air, to feel the differences, because we feel them as pings and crackles and whatever's on our, through our body, but particularly through our hands. So definitely use your hands always in these sessions, just whatever you need.
Yeah, no,
That was totally me off camera.
no, that's good
Yeah.
because you have chakras in your palms and you don't realize that's not advertised very often. But to your point, Tashiko, just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not there. And so you can use your hands to look at differentiation.
And almost your background behind you is like the hand chakra, and then I see glowing fingertips often as well. So it's kind of like the little points just behind you are the glowing fingertips, and that chakra behind you is the hand one. So
no, I didn't realize that.
Perfect background.
I didn't really even realize that. But no, so this was amazing, and I'm sure there will be other after effects from all these different energy upgrades and just experiences we had. I expect or anticipate everyone's still going to feel the reverberation of this even after the fact. And just keep sharing and keep giving us the feedback, because it's just amazing to hear everybody's experience.
Yeah.
And keep drinking water.
Yeah, that's another thing too.
Who suggested in the middle of the call to drink water?
I think it was Melanie.
Thank you.
Yes,
oh,
seriously,
yeah.
Melanie. That was really,
yeah.
Thank you. That was awesome. Thank you, everyone, for my maiden voyage.
That was awesome, Tashiko. Thank you for everyone who made it to this call. I know, like I said, on a Friday night in different time zones, sometimes it's even later for some of you. So appreciate all of you for coming together. As always, I'm always humbled by this experience and just grateful for you all. Have a good night, and let's on till the next one.
Lots
sounds
of
great.
Thank you.